has announced that he will be leaving Manchester United on a free transfer this summer. Raphael Varane has announced that he's leaving Manchester United after signing for Manchester United in 2021. What a ride it's been, and Raphael Varane, and what a servant to the club that he's been as well. I've just watched his leaving video, and honestly, I'm not joking, ask anybody in the studio, they can vouch for me. I sat there and I literally teared up and I literally cried at it. And it was emotional because I just think Varane is such a top professional, and he conveyed himself in that video to be a top professional. I love the fact that he spoke about the direction of the club and the new owners, and he's sure that there's going to be positive times ahead. He showed his care and his love for the club. And honestly, Raphael Varane, when he first joined Manchester United, it was a time I was so excited. I was so excited. I remember being in Old Trafford with my brother. I remember sitting there, first game of the season, where he came in and he revealed himself. I think it was a game that we beat Leeds 4-1, was it, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And Raphael came out with the United shirt, and you just got goosebumps, and he really felt like it was going to be the start of something. It really did. And unfortunately, we didn't go on and have the times that we thought we were going to have with him at the club, but there's been some amazing memories there. His partnership with Lisandro Martinez will always go down in history as being a brilliant centre-back partnership at Manchester United. I mean, last year we all remember how good they were together. Him lifting the Carabao Cup with Lisandro Martinez was an amazing memory as well. And let's just hope that we can send him off with an FA Cup. I don't know if he's going to be back fit, but he has announced that he will be there on the last home game of the season against Newcastle to say goodbye to the Manchester United fans, a place that he now calls home. Raphael Varane, and he just oozes class on and off the pitch. So I'm sad to see him go, but I honestly think this could be the first of many this summer. I think this could be the first of many breaking newses that we do hear on the United stand about players leaving Manchester United. INEOS are here to change things. INEOS are here to make a change at this football club, and I do think there will be many player exits this summer, and I think this is the first of many. It's something we've known about for quite a long time. Fabrizio Romano's alluded to it on a lot of shows that we've done with him, that Raphael Varane will be leaving Manchester United on a free transfer, and the time has come to say goodbye. And what do you think? Is it the right decision? I've gone back and forth on this decision. I would love to keep him because I think when he's fit, he's our best centre-back. When he is fit, Raphael Varane is Manchester United's best centre-back. But unfortunately, him being fit isn't as often as we'd like it to be. And people will say, well, he's been our most consistent centre-back this season. He's been our least injured centre-back this season. This is a season where we've had ridiculous amount of injuries. And ever since Raphael Varane joined the club, have you ever really been able to have him regularly on like a 2-month basis? He's always in and out, and it's somebody who you'd want to be fit consistently, especially for the amount of money he's on. He's on around 300 grand a week. So I think INEOS, it's time to say goodbye to massively high wages for players that are not going to be available enough for Manchester United. So as good as he is, I think it probably is the right time in his career to move on from Manchester United. But Manchester United have to replace him. Manchester United have to replace him, and we have to replace him well. Do you trust INEOS and the recruitment team to do this? Hopefully, we will be able to replace him with a young, up-and-coming centre-back that can take that baton and be, you know, the next Raphael Varane. Because what a career Raphael Varane has had before Manchester United. Won everything that there is to win in the game. Won the World Cup with France, won everything with Real Madrid, came with so much promise to Manchester United, and has been in a little bit of a disjointed team and had some ups and downs, but ultimately there has been some good times, and I would absolutely love it if we could send him off with an FA Cup. What do we say about this? Lisandro Martinez, left-sided centre-back, Raphael Varane, right-sided centre-back, Wembley, one last dance in the FA Cup final. Beat Manchester City and send Raphael Varane off with an FA Cup. I'd absolutely love it. But thank you everyone for tuning in for Raphael Varane leaving Manchester United. Who do you think is next, and is this a right decision? Let's get a poll going quickly. It's only going to be a little video. We do have the press conference coming up in a bit. But let's get a poll going in the chat. Is it the right decision to let Raphael Varane go? Yes or no? I'd love to hear your reaction to this. Let's have a little look at some of the chats coming in. So we have Korean TG saying wanted him to stay, one of the good guys. Poll. Yeah, I'm literally just going to put a poll up now about it and whether Raphael Varane should have stayed at Manchester United or not. I think because of the wages that's why he's gone. I genuinely think that's the only reason he's gone, is because of his wages. And plus, we're shifting into a rebuild, another rebuild in Manchester United. And Raphael Varane, as good as he is as an experienced player, someone that uses class on and off the pitch, a leader, and as great as that would have been to have in the dressing room. And don't get me wrong, if I now suddenly found out that Raphael Varane was staying, I would be happy about it. Quality-wise, I think he's top quality. I think his attitude's absolutely spot on. I think in and around the dressing room, to have that leader there, I think he's got great characteristics. He leads by example. I really do like him a lot. But I think the two reasons why he's exiting Manchester United at this point in his career, well, three reasons really, is one, because his contract's up and Manchester United don't want to renew it on the same wages that he's on. Two is because of his injuries, and three is because INEOS have come in and it's a new ownership and they're cutting down on high wages for players that aren't always available. I genuinely think if Sir Jim Ratcliffe hadn't bought a percentage of Manchester United and it was still the old regime, the old model, with the Glazers in charge and their people above, I think Raphael Varane would probably be getting a new contract on however much money that he's on, because that's what Manchester United do. But times are changing under INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and they've evaluated the situation and have thought, for the money that he's on and for his availability, let's reinvest that into the next up-and-coming centre-back and move forward. And to be honest, I think it's the right decision. I do think it is the right decision, as sad as it is, because like I said, I set it up at the leaving video, and what shows how class Raphael Varane is, by the way, he's the video he's put out. I thought he spoke absolutely brilliantly and he conveyed his emotion into Manchester United. But not only did he speak highly of the club and the fans and his emotion as playing as a Manchester United player and him joining the club, not only did he sum that up with great emotion and respect, he spoke about the future under the new ownership. And he said he's sure there's positive times ahead. He says he spoke to the new ownership and he's excited to see what's next for Manchester United. That shows a guy with class, because he's not having his contract renewed and he is deciding to move on, but he's still showing that class and he's excited for future times at Manchester United, and he said he's going to be back. So I think that just kind of shows the character that he is. Is it the correct decision to let Raphael Varane leave, yes or no? A lot of people saying, well, we're keeping Rashford on massive wages. Rashford's in a contract. I don't know when it's signed till, but I think he signed last year a 5-year deal at Manchester United. So it's very different to letting Raphael Varane go on a free when his contract's up than selling Rashford out of his contract. So a lot of people say, well, Rashford's on high wages, why is he staying? Because he's in a contract, and you then need to find a buyer that's going to pay a transfer fee and also pay the wages. So it's a lot more of a difficult situation. Players that the thing is though, this is a wake-up call to a lot of players under old regimes at Manchester United, and when the Glazers were purely owning the football club and we had the old regime in place. You know, players would be getting contracts left, right and centre. We renewed Eric Bailly when he barely played for us and he was always injured, just to retain some value. We give Phil Jones a new contract just to retain some value. Like, players did not have to work for a new contract. They didn't. But now, you know, this is before Sir Jim came in, to be fair, but when David De Gea was at the end of his contract, instead of renewing it for another year, Manchester United decided to let him go. That felt pretty ruthless. Letting Raphael Varane go now. He's another one that's on a high wage, the same way David De Gea was, that he's kind of, you know, he's not getting his contract renewed when in previous times that would have happened. So players now that will have contracts coming up, they'll be looking around thinking, do you know what, it's not the old times when you just get a new contract willy-nilly. Like, I'm actually going to have to work for a new contract. And that is something that we do need to instill into this football club, because we've made some terrible decisions in handing out new contracts before. And as good as Raphael Varane is, Manchester United have obviously evaluated the situation and thought it's best to kind of part ways at this time and invest that into a new centre-back in the summer. But as I said, it is absolutely fundamental that we replace Raphael Varane with a top talent, because we're losing a top quality player. And we're not only just losing a top quality player, we're losing a leader in that dressing room, and there's not many of them. We're losing a leader. So you've got to replace the leadership, but you've also got to replace the talent as well. So it'll be interesting to see who we go for. Obviously, Branthwaite, Todibo, these are players that keep getting mentioned. Interestingly enough, you know, Todibo, also French, young, coming up in his career. That could be somebody that could kind of take the baton off Raphael Varane. Get in the comments down below what you think, and let's see what the poll's saying. It really is bittersweet because I love Raphael Varane, but I do think it is the right decision. Is it the correct decision to let Rafa leave, yes or no? I'm going to vote yes at this time for Raphael Varane. It is close though. 57% say yes and 43% say no. If I was voting purely off emotion, I'd say no. But if I'm looking at the future and the transition period that we're moving into, I think it is the right decision. Zach Benson says, man quits international football to try and stay healthy for us. His body is just letting him down. Always a red Rafa. Exactly, and that's such a respectful comment, and it's absolutely true. Like, he did sacrifice international football to try and stay fit for Manchester United. Raphael Varane has openly spoke about the amount of games that footballers have to play and how it is detrimental to their bodies. He's spoken about having concussion over a long period of time because of an injury that he experienced at Real Madrid. So Raphael Varane is very cautious of his body. He has played for so many years. He knows when his body's breaking down. He knows when he's fit and healthy to play. And where he goes next, I don't know. I would be absolutely gutted, because he can sign for anyone on a free, let's be honest. I would be absolutely gutted if he went and signed for like a Chelsea or something like that on a free transfer, because that could absolutely happen. And it would not be a bad move for a top club, because he is a good player if he can stay fit. So I'd be gutted if we saw that. But when you listen to Raphael Varane talk about the amount of games and how hard it is on the body, I would expect him to maybe make a move to potentially the MLS. Saudi Arabia are obviously very interested in him. Maybe a league like that where there's not as many games and he can kind of just, see off the end of his career in a less intense league where he can still play football and earn quite a bit of money as well, especially if he goes to Saudi Arabia, but the intensity is lower. The guy has won everything there is to win in La Liga. He's won everything that he needs to win in Spain. He's won the World Cup. He's won a trophy at Manchester United. I'm hoping we can make it too. And so I think ultimately he'll go somewhere where it is less intense, but I would be absolutely gutted if he went to another club that we're competing with, because he could absolutely do that, and that's the risk that Manchester United take. And a lot of people saying, how has Magaluf survived for 5+ years? That is something that needs to be addressed though. Like, it really is. As good as Maguire has been when he's played this season, the fact that players like Raphael Varane are leaving before the likes of, Lindelof and Maguire's that have been at the club for years and need to be moved on is something that needs to be addressed. Obviously, if Maguire or Lindelof were at the end of their contracts, that's something that could be explored as well. They are in contract at Manchester United, but if Varane's going, we definitely need to evaluate other players at the club as well. And like I said, I think it is the first of many. One of Maguire or Lindelof will stay this summer, by the way, because Varane's going. I think it's quite likely that Johnny Evans will leave at the end of this summer or maybe step down into more of a coaching role or something like that. So that's 2 of your centre-backs already gone. Lisandro Martinez is pretty injury-prone so far at Manchester United. Maguire or Lindelof will end up staying. One of them has to go. One of them has to go, because we need 2 new centre-backs, especially with Raphael Varane going. You need 2 new centre-backs. You've got Martinez and potentially Luke Shaw, who can play left-sided centre-back as well, but he's not even reliable because of the amount Luke Shaw has been injured. He's super injury-prone. So you need, for me, a Todibo or a right-sided centre-back, and then you'd have either Maguire or Lindelof as the backup. One of them will stay. You'd probably end up keeping Maguire and selling Lindelof. And then on the left side, you have Martinez, but you also need another left-sided centre-back as well. For example, a Branthwaite, left-footed, but actually can play both sides, so it's very versatile. Manchester United need to be spending in the centre-back region. I think Manchester United, if I'm looking at it now, going into next season, the centre-back options, you'll have Lisandro Martinez, he's the only one that's absolutely nailed on to be there. I think Harry Maguire will stay, so you'll have Harry Maguire as well. I think you'll have a Todibo, and I think you'll have a Branthwaite. I think they're your 4 main centre-backs going into next season. And then you'd have like the Willy Kambwala, who is kind of, coming up and will progress more next season as well. And that's how Manchester United will play it. So one of Maguire and Lindelof will stay, which is absolutely crazy to think they have outlived Raphael Varane, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And the thing that matters the most is that Manchester United starts to get a handle on this now. I don't think it's just going to be Raphael Varane leaving Manchester United this summer. I think there's going to be a lot of these videos. I think there's going to be a lot of these announcements. I think this is the first of many. You've got Raphael Varane Fabrizio Romano was talking late last night about Casemiro going to Saudi Arabia. It's massively concrete and could definitely happen, and it's looking more and more likely by the day. Casemiro's another one that's on high wages that will probably exit. Sancho will leave. I don't really think we'll get an emotional leaving video with him going though. Greenwood's going to leave. Wan-Bissaka's up for sale. You know, if a good offer comes in for McTominay, he's up for sale. You've got Lindelof, who's looking more and more likely that he's going to go and has had interest around Europe. There is going to be players leaving Manchester United this summer. Christian Eriksen's probably going to go. It's looking more and more likely. I mean, Eriksen going, Casemiro going, and Amrabat going back to Fiorentina. Manchester United are going to need to buy 2 midfielders. This could be, if it goes the way I think it should go, this could be an absolutely mental summer for Manchester United. This could be the biggest summer that we've seen in so many years. Because players leaving, that means you need replacements. And we need 2 centre-backs. Casemiro and Eriksen go, we need 2 midfielders. So and on top of that, you've got Elise, you've got a striker, you've got a left-back. If Wan-Bissaka leaves, you're probably going to need to bring in another right-back. Like, this could be a summer for the Bucks. And I think we're only just getting started. And now the season end is upon us. Last home game against Newcastle. You never know. That could be Erik ten Hag's last home game as manager at Manchester United. I hope it's not, but it could be. How many players' last home game is that going to be? We know it's going to be Raphael Varane's, but you know, David De Gea played his last home game last season and didn't know he was going to leave, and then he ended up going. There could be some shocks in store. And then you've got the FA Cup final, and after that you're going to hear clarity about the manager, and I'm sure then you'll start to see the transfers kick into place. Greenwood and Sancho, I think, will be first on the hit list, and then you'll start seeing other players filter in there. And I think it's really important because we need a rebuild. We need to sort the squad out. We need to fill it with physically capable players and we need to fill it with players that are physically capable to play in the physicality and the intensity of the Premier League, and new and upcoming players that have the mentality to play for Manchester United, also have the talent of what it takes to play Manchester United, have the mentality to put on the red shirt and really kind of do this clear out and take Manchester United forward in this new era. And as much as I love Raphael Varane, I mean, there's some players that they could put a leaving video out and honestly I wouldn't really blink twice. Raphael Varane's one of them players where, for me, like I said, I was tearing up at his leaving video. It really does kind of hurt, but I think it's the right thing to do. So, Raphael Varane, thank you for everything that you have done for Manchester United, and thank you for coming to join Manchester United. I still remember him holding up the shirt. I'm sad it didn't go the way that we thought it would when him, Sancho, Ronaldo kind of were all there. I'm sad we didn't go on to win major honours with him in the team, but he definitely did elevate us, and his partnership with Lisandro Martinez will be one for the Bucks, and I just really hope he's fit for the FA Cup final and we can see him and Lisandro Martinez compete against, for me, the best team in Europe, and hopefully bring home the FA Cup. It's going to be tough, it's going to be massively tough, but you know, that gives players an extra push. It gives you that extra push knowing it's your last opportunity to win silverware with Manchester United in front of the fans at Wembley. It could give you that extra boost. A couple of super chats left to go through before we wrap up, because the press conference from Erik ten Hag is coming soon. And Dylan Harden says, Beth, you forgot Martial, Donny and Palestri. Exactly, there's a whole list of players. Martial's definitely gone. His leaving video surely should be coming soon. Do you know what? If Raphael Varane's announced he's leaving and Newcastle will be his last home game, like, surely Martial wants to do that as well, because we know Martial's gone on a free. Surely he wants to say goodbye to the fans at Old Trafford. Is that video going to come up shortly? Another Frenchman leaving Manchester United, and then Donny and Palestri, yeah, they're definitely going. Trey Warren says, surely not, Beth. Maguire is way less of a progressive player than Lindelof. The thing is about Maguire is he's shown up this season, and people think a lot about recency. And when you look at Lindelof and Maguire has a niche, and it's that you can throw him on for the last 20 minutes and he can defend your box when you're getting peppered with crosses, but he can also be a big attacking threat as well. Target man to hit the ball up to. So he's got that niche, so I think that's why Maguire ends up staying. Hadi says, we need to make a model like Madrid, young talented players with a bit of experience in every position. Cruz and Modric are on penny wages. Well, the way that Real Madrid do it is an example for everyone. It's an example for everyone. You've got the youth and then you've got the experienced players to help them. It's like I say, Rasmus Højlund has no one experienced to help him. Jude Bellingham and Valverde and Tchouaméni and Camavinga have Modric and Cruz. LeBron James says, calling it now, he's going to City. he won't be going to City. Sanil Dewan says, 1 down, 9 to go. Very ruthless take from you. And yeah, thank you everyone for all your super chats. Grace Sheridan says, no Europe means more players likely to leave. I don't think that really massively impacts it, to be honest with you. But Manchester United do need to save money, and we need to invest money into our transfer kitty, and that would help by getting fees for players leaving as well. But look everyone, Raphael Varane has confirmed that he's leaving Manchester United. First one of 2024, the 2024 summer transfer window. Raphael Varane will be leaving Manchester United. Who is next? Get in your comments down below. We'll see you shortly for the presser. Please hit a like on the video and leave your respect here for Raphael Varane. Once a red, always a red, and I'll see you on the next one, everyone.